This is my truck. What are you doing? No, this is my truck. You can't come in here. No.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Nate the Hoof Guy. Before we get into today's video, I want to introduce you to something new that YouTube has set up for creators like myself who don't sell a lot of merchandise and don't do a lot of sponsored posts. That's called the Super Thanks button, and it's located right below the video right here. It's got different levels where you can support your favorite YouTubers. So if I provided you some value over the last couple years and you want to help support the channel, there's now a way that you can do that. You can even leave a little message by clicking right here, and it will show up in the comments section below. All right, enough of that, guys. Let's get on to today's video. So today's video, what we've got going on here is as I was starting to work on this foot, I used the hook of my knife to kind of clean away debris and stuff to make sure there's not any rocks in there. In this case, my knife hit something hard, which I thought was a stone. But I started looking closer and realized this is a big piece of metal that's stuck up inside that foot, so I thought I better get the camera out. You can see it here, and you can see how firmly embedded this piece of metal is in this claw. So what I'm gonna do now is trim around it and try to loosen this baby up so we can get it out of there. This foot is a perfect example of why I use that hook of my knife to clean these feet up a little bit before I start to grind on them. Had I just gone in there with the grinder, I would have found this piece of metal with those carbide cutting teeth, and of course I would have dulled them instantly, which means then I have to replace them. Here, I can get this metal out of there, have a nice clean foot to work with when I do decide to pick up the grinder. I'm not exactly sure what I intended to accomplish with that technique, but as you can see, I cleaned it up beautifully. And as you can see here, it's a pretty significant sized chunk of metal. I'm not exactly sure what this was part of, maybe an old rusty gate or something like that, but never fails, when spring rolls around, the stuff gets pushed back to the surface and cows pick it up in their feet. Now let's get this foot trimmed up. She is sore on this right front. I don't think that metal did any damage, but we got to figure out what her lameness is. Actually, I already know. It's hiding right behind that mixing tip. If you look close, right where that metal was, you can see it has worn a groove right in the sole of that foot. I don't think it's caused any damage, hasn't gone all the way through, but clearly uncomfortable to have stuck in your foot. Well, we got lucky there. That metal did not puncture the sole of this foot, but as I mentioned, she is sore on this right front, and that's due to this lesion right here. This is a digital dermatitis lesion. The way I treat this, I'm going to clean it up really well with chlorhexidine, and unlike other treatments where I use salicylic acid, in this case, I'm going to use a copper sulfate paste. Now, the reason I don't use salicylic acid here is, as you can see, this is a little bit of a raised lesion. It's a little bit larger than the ones you typically see that are on the sole of the foot. They're deeper, and this copper sulfate paste will actually do a better job in killing those bacteria that are living deeper inside that tissue. So that's why I use that. Let's get this foot down, take a look at it, and then we're going to send her on her way. All right, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. As always, thanks for watching, and we will see you all on the next one.
What makes you think you can just come in the truck? Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing down there? Huh? That's my truck.